Who were the two leaders? Nitish Kumar, Sushil Modi. Came together in JP's movement, went to jail during emergency, struggled, got into state assembly, got into parliament. One was a central minister, one was leader of opposition in assembly. Struggled for 30-40 years and became leaders. What was the response of the two parties who had ruined Bihar? 40 years was Congress and 15 years was RJD. What do you have to offer as against these two who have changed the face of Bihar? Well, we have a glamour of families to offer. So बिहार में किशन रेड्डी जी वो कहते थे एक पति पत्नी की पार्टी है, एक मां बेटे की पार्टी है. They did not realize that the script of Bihar had changed. There was a different script in the election. And people were interested in knowing something else. And therefore people defied not only them but also defied our expectations. And I said to myself, I see two positive outcomes of this result. The first is, it's a launching pad for a greater NDA as the only alternative to the UPA to come to power at the center. This is the kind of governance we are capable of providing. And the second, in this entire debate this country is facing between leadership on basis of merit or leadership in the basis of dynasty. Friends, there is a conflict between leadership on the basis of surnames and leadership on basis of merit. World over, leaders come on meritocracy. If the Labour Party lost the election in England, their new leader was elected. There is a democratic process by which the parties elect them. But we have a strange process in India where people feel that a country is a part of their Jagir, and therefore surnames will continue to dominate political parties or the national politics. And a member of a family is no guarantee for his competence. We now have emerging leaders, we don't know what their ideological positions are, what their solutions to the problem of the country are. You ask them, will you tell us what is your vision of how Kashmir issue will be resolved? The answer came, Kashmir is a full-time job, I don't have the time for it. I can't understand. Look at what's happening in Andhra. Why is the party being torn apart? The Congress party cannot have double standards. That is what somebody in Andhra Pradesh is asking. You want dynasty in Delhi, why don't you have dynasty in Hyderabad also? So the rebel of Hyderabad is paying the leadership of Delhi in the argument of the leadership of Delhi. That you can't have two Congress party principles of succession, one for the Delhi family, another for the Hyderabad family. And that is the contradiction in which the Congress party today is gripped. Friends, in the midst of all this, if we go back to the issues of nation building, what is happening in the country today? Unquestionably, one of the most serious issues we face is Kashmir. And if you want to seriously understand what is the problem in Kashmir, when we got independence, excuse me, bro. When we got our independence, Pandit Nehru became the Prime Minister, Sardar Patel was our Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister. The most difficult task when we got our independence was the integration of states. In fact, Sardar Patel died in the year 1950. So he only lived about 3 years after independence. And this great visionary and tall leader had the job of holding this country together and bringing it together. He had some major advisors, and one of them, VP Menon, before he died, he told him, on the transfer of power from British to India and on the integration of the states, these are two separate subjects. For the purposes of history, please write 2 books on this subject, so that a record of history is maintained, and VP Menon did that. And he says that I am writing these books to fulfill Sardar's last wish to me. It was not an easy job to bring this country together. You had to cajole some people. You had to win over some people. You had to inspire some people. You had to intimidate some people. You had to organize rebellions in some parts of the country. So when the Nawab of Junagadh said, I announce accession to Pakistan, and geographically Junagadh had no boundary with Pakistan, so the people revolted and the Nawab had to run away to Pakistan. And that is how Junagadh came to India. The Hyderabad story is known to all of you better than me. Each one of the Maharajas in Rajasthan had his own self-respect. He created this institution of Raj Pramukh, put the Jaipur Maharaja as the Raj Pramukh, and then brought them together. And by 1950, this great soul had brought every inch of India completely integrated. So when he died, he gave us a complete nation as a part of his legacy. But then Panditji told him, you handle the rest of India and I will handle Kashmir. You see, there are two very hard and realistic factors. India has, the first is that India has officially glamorized families and the de-glamorized families. So suddenly halfway through people realized that there was no formal biography of Sardar Patel. So Gandhiji's grandson Rajmohan Gandhi was asked to write his biography. So if you read his biography, he said, my most challenging job was to find out what is the name of Sardar Patel's wife. And in the biography he says, I still could not get a photograph of hers. So I had to go to her ancestral village and find out whether she was tall or short, fair or not so fair. What was her family background? Because they were all a part of the non-glamorized families. This was the kind of contribution. And look at what happened to Kashmir. When Maharaja Hari Singh signed the instrument of accession with India, and he had no option, he did it because Kashmir was being raided. He wanted the Indian army to support him, and he signed the Indian instrument of accession. At that time, when the refugees were coming from West Pakistan, there was every legitimate reason why some of the refugees who settled in Punjab, in Delhi, in parts of Tarai region of UP, Himachal, some should have gone in North India, even to Bharatpur, some should have also gone to Kashmir. An iron curtain was put by Panditji and said, no refugee in Kashmir. The first opportunity was lost. Thereafter, you went and uniformly started announcing, unilaterally started announcing, and today, I saw in the newspaper today, when some Delhi court has issued some direction to the police to register a few FIR against people who gave anti-national speeches, they said, what wrong did we do? We have only said, even Panditji at that time had said the same. He had said, well, wishes of the people will be taken into consideration. The people don't want to be here. Well, wishes were not taken into consideration in Hyderabad and Junagadh. If wishes of every district of India had to be taken into consideration, the mission of Sardar Patel would have been set at naught. You allowed the whole issue to be internationalized by going to the UN. And then when the constitution was being framed, you said, I give it a separate status. And no congressman in this country is willing, after 63 years of independence, to honestly analyze that this journey of 63 years of this independent, separate status, in reality has been a journey of separate status towards separatism. And you can't see the writing on the wall. We are all in support of any move which is taken to win over the confidence of people of Jammu and Kashmir. We agree that the people in the valley, their life should be made comfortable. A distance between them and the separatists must be there. But why should any concessions be shown to the separatists the moment you show that you are further willing to weaken the constitutional and political relationship of the state and India? You fall into the trap of Pakistan and its representatives like Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, who want this relationship to be weakened. Some say call it self-rule. Some say call it autonomy. Some say call it azadi. These are all different formats of weakening the political and social and the constitutional relationship of India and Kashmir. We are not for weakening this relationship, where we say, please understand from the historical blunders which Panditji committed, and unless you accept them, or at least intellectually make a note of them, you will never set a roadmap for correction of the future. The difference in approach is precisely the difference between Sardar Patel's approach in the rest of the country and Panditji's approach in Kashmir. And unless we allow history to make this realistic judgment, we will never be able to resolve the problem. Today, what is the solution? First phase was conventional war. Kashmir is a part of the unfinished agenda of Pakistan since partition. So we fought 4 conventional wars. Pakistan failed. They started cross-border insurgency. In cross-border insurgency, suddenly Pakistan has realized that the global appetite for accepting terror has now diminished. The world will no longer allow you to enjoy the fruits of terrorism. So in the garb of peaceful protest, this is the 3rd round, you organize groups of 5,000 and 4,000 people, pick up a police picket of 5 people, and 5,000 people throw stones on them. And said only poor stone throwers. And if police retaliates or fires in return, they said atrocities are being committed. And nobody is willing to mention that 3,000 policemen are in hospital, some of them have died. So if we have no tribute to pay to them, so this great song that the young lady was singing, which still moves us from 1962 till today, these are the soldiers who are giving their life for the country, and today we are not able to appreciate as to what is the solution we have to find to this problem. I have not the least doubt that the Bharatiya Janata Party and before that the Bharatiya Jansangh, originally under the leadership of Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, was a party which spoke of total integration of the state. And one day history in India will have to make a judgment. It will be a cruel, a harsh judgment, but a realistic judgment that Dr. Mukherjee's vision on Kashmir was right, Panditji's vision was erroneous. And till today, 63 years after independence, we continue to pay a price for that.